everyone, this is Ilina for LDRS Creative and welcome to another card video. In today's video, we'll make an easy watercolor smoosh background and we're going to stamp the image on top of it and then add more color to make that image stand out. I'll be using the Orchid stamp set for the main image and the potted hibiscus for the sentiment. I will be doing the watercolor smoosh background using my Karin markers, and I'm just scribbling onto my glass mat. It's very important that you work on non-porous surface like glass or plastic or even acetate would work. So I'm just adding colors. I'm adding shades of green and purple. I'm spraying with my spritz bottle and then just putting that piece of watercolor paper into that color. On the bottom I had some purple, so I just wiped that very quickly and I will add some more color. In the meantime, I'm drying this up. I'm cleaning that mess of watercolor, and again I'm scribbling the green colors to add some more on the bottom there so it doesn't look like mud. And again, drying with my heat tool. You can let it dry air dry, but I want to work quickly, so I utilize my heat tool. Okay, now let's stamp the image. I'm using my stamp positioning tool, and I will stamp the orchid image on the left side. That's how I positioned also that watercolor smoosh background. I'm using the Raven hybrid ink and I'm stamping a few times to have nice coverage since we're working with watercolor paper. Okay, I'm stamping 3 times while the paper is still, the cardstock watercolor paper is still in the misty. I am using my heat tool on the lower setting to dry that ink so I don't cause any smearing. And I wanted to make the image to stand out a little more, so I'm adding more color. I'm using again the Karin markers directly onto the image, and I'm using also the blending pen from the same set of Karin markers. If you don't have the blender pen, you can use a water brush too. Just make sure that it's not super loaded with water, so you have nice contrast that the image actually appears darker than your background. So I did the leaves, now I'm going back to the flowers and the petals. I'm adding more color and moving it around with the blender pen. So I'm using coordinating colors as the background, so when we'll come to more kind of magenta pink on top, I will change the color and use that dark pink color. And then I will add green for the leaves that are on the top there, or the buds. Okay, so I wanted a little bit more contrast here, so I'm drying that with my heat tool, and I'm using white pencil to add some lines to create more texture to the image. So I'm just adding lines and I'm coloring the centers of the orchid and adding lines also on the petals. And then on the buds or the leaves that are on top. Okay, now let's trim this, let's stamp the sentiment. I'm using sentiment, wishing you happiness from the potted hibiscus stamp set. I wasn't sure if I was going to use the tulip or the potted hibiscus, so on the beginning you saw that I had both stamp sets pulled out, so I decided to go with the potted hibiscus and use wishing you happiness. So I stamp happiness. I'm drying that so I'm not, by any chance I don't smear it when I go to position the supporting sentiment. Just decided to add a little bit more of that white gel pen while the image was secured and nicely put in my stamp positioning tool. Again, I'm stamping that sentiment using the LDRS Creative Raven hybrid ink. I'm drying that, make sure that it's nice and set. I'm gonna trim the panel down to 4 by 5 1/4. So we have nice size for matting that onto top folded white note card. So here I decided I wanted a little bit more contrast, so I decided to pull out my white gel pen and I'm adding little dots here and there on the flowers and on the leaves to create a little bit more contrast and that image to stand out a little bit more. So I'm adding those white dots in the center of the flowers and then on the bottom of the leaves, the base of the leaves. Okay, we are done here. And I think that I like how it turned out. So I have my top folding note card here created. I used piece of 4 1/4 by 11 inches cardstock, white cardstock, and I scored it at 5 1/2, then just folded it in half. I'm creating matte using a stack of heavyweight cardstock, scrap cardstock that I had in my stash, but you can use either foam tape or craft foam too will work. And I'm just adhering it to my note card to finish off the card. So here's a little closer look of the finished card. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. Don't forget to give us thumbs up. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on that bell button so you're not notified for every video we upload here. Also, please visit the LDRS Creative blog for more ideas and more information. Thanks for watching. Bye!